Alrighty, what's up everybody? Jonathan here with Boston Collectors, and in today's video, we're going to try to figure out if Electro is worth the asking price. Now before we really dive into this, I want to thank you all so much for the love on the latest video for the Is It Worth It, featuring the Anakin Skywalker and the staff. And if you enjoyed the content from yesterday or today, don't forget to subscribe and join us on our other social platforms. Now getting into it, we do have Electro, who was announced yesterday on Facebook from Hot Toys, but today pre-orders went live at around 10 a.m. And for those of you who may have missed it, we did announce that over on our Instagram platform here in our stories. Actually, as soon as it went live, here we go, 7 hours ago is when the pre-orders went live over on Sideshow. Now, diving straight into it here, right away, the price tag is marked for $285. The NRD placed at $28.50, and payments start later on next year in March of 2023, starting at $51.30 if you're doing 5 payments, which that's the max number of payments. You can also change the date if you so choose, or maybe you got it like that and you're just gonna pay it outright. It's totally up to you. The expected to ship date is from July 2023 to December 2023. This is sort of the norm now in terms of figures that are being announced right now because of COVID and things of that nature. Now diving into it, before we start looking at the photos, let's go over what we see here in the box. So obviously we have the likeness to Electro of Jamie Foxx. We also have 30 points of articulation, and we do have an LED light up feature on the figure, which if you joined us on our Instagram live yesterday, I wasn't sure if that would light up or not, but it could have been Photoshop magic or it could have been an LED light up feature. I was really confused about that because I wasn't sure how they would make that connect unless it's hidden in the wiring, which will be interesting to find out. Moving on, we do have 6 pieces of interchangeable gloved hands, including, this is where it gets good, 1 pair of fists, 1 pair of open hands, and 1 pair of gesturing hands. Again, so far what I'm reading right here out of the box, this figure is sounding like a 10 out of 10. Moving on though, we also have the costume, the accessories. We have 4 pieces of lightning effect accessories attached to the face, chest, and fists. It's not just the fists actually, you can actually have them wrapped around the forearm. It's not just for the fists. And we also have the movie stand, which I want to provide a small insert about later on. Now diving right into it, here we have the figure itself, which again looks incredible. Absolutely love the work that they've done on this piece. The portrait looks incredible. I love the Timberlands. I love the outfit. This is looking like a 10 out of 10 figure right here. So far, they've been blowing me away. Let me know in the comment section if you feel the same way. I know it's not Star Wars. I feel like they're really trying to push all of the Marvel things out right now before Star Wars month, and that makes sense. We also have that nod to the comic book character here with the mask, if you will. And for those of you who, I don't recall seeing this in the film though, so for those of you who actually saw it and remember it, let me know in the comments down below, but I don't recall seeing that electric face, if you will, the mask in the movie. Moving on though, we have Jamie Foxx's character here leaping in the air. As you can see, it's not just lightning effects around the fists, it's around that forearm, but I'm pretty sure that can fit around any of the hands. That portrait is looking incredible. Absolutely love the design of this. Now here, I want to say we're going to go off of this image here. These aren't double jointed arms. However, I am hoping that we do have butterfly joints up here, maybe a swivel in the bicep up top. I'm really hoping for that at least, but I can't say that I'm upset that they don't have a double jointed elbow here, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, you've got all of these cables, which I'm pretty sure are malleable and you can twist and bend to a certain extent. You shouldn't be going crazy with this because then guess what? You know, if it's metal or I feel like it's going to be metallic, but I also feel like they'd be doing themselves a disservice if it is. Chances are they could probably do what they did with the Boba Fett and make that part sort of like a hose, which would make it a little bit easier to deal with. But I don't know. Let me know what you all think. Do you feel like it's going to be metallic or is it going to be like a bendable wire? Let me know down below. It could be either or. Now to get back on topic though, I do feel like it's totally fine for them to go with the elbows the way that they are here. One, you keep that realistic approach to it, right? You can't really see it because of the metallic portions going on here, and the metal is sort of, or the wiring rather, it's hiding it a little bit, right? But I know you're giving up some of the posability with it. But if you were able to get that double bend in the elbow, I feel like that would mess up the rest of the cables. And I know you're probably thinking, well, he could have engineered it in a way where the hose could extend. Maybe at this point, and you're totally right, I agree with you, but maybe they just didn't think that far in advance. But come on, it's Hot Toys. I'm pretty sure they tried and maybe it didn't work out, or maybe Sony or Disney just wasn't feeling it. Who knows? But regardless, I can't say that I'm upset with them going with the single jointed elbows here. Now, moving on though, we do have that portrait, which looks incredible. Yuli did an incredible job on this portrait. It looks phenomenal. The fade looks pretty good when you look at JC Hong's Instagram page as well. It looks really good. I would like just a full-on side portrait though, because Commander Cody's fade didn't look that great. In fact, they kind of kept some of the hair and just didn't paint it, and it looked kind of weird, but here it looks pretty freaking good. Now again, we have that really nice side portrait there to sort of show you the elevations in his face with that furrowed brow and just the overall sculpt of that portrait, which looks really good. The metallic portions here, or the quote-unquote metallic portions, they didn't mention anything about die cast pieces, so chances are it's plastic meant to look like die cast, which I'm not upset about. And then here we go, we have that close up on the mask lightning effect there, which looks really freaking good. And if you notice though, what's too much Photoshop and what isn't, right? Because there are a couple photos, which is why I have the Facebook tab up here. Now right away, this is if you don't know Photoshop, you don't even need to know Photoshop to see that this looks a lot different from this. And even then, they darken some of the piping there. I know this is a prototype, but usually the prototype is kind of the closest to what we'll see. But when you look at these two hose portions here, and you look at this, it's a lot different. And then, you know, they sort of darken the hose here on the other image. I'm not sure what's what's too much Photoshop for marketing and what isn't. I understand, you know, for the lightning effects, you throw on a little bit extra so that it can look cool, but I don't know. Anyway, getting back to it here. Obviously, another thing to point out here, we do have the double bend in the knee, which I think is really good. We do have, it looks like it's going to be posable, right? Because the belt here obviously isn't attached to the waist. So you do have that extra posability going on in the lower region of the figure, which is great, right? For the posers out there, it might not be that big of a thing for those of you who may not pose your figures, but for those posers who like to dynamically pose their pieces, I think that's a really good thing to separate from the lower region. And again, we have that LED light up feature showing through the lightning there on the arc reactor. Portrait looks incredible too. They really did a good job on this piece. That portrait is phenomenal. And there we go with the with the Photoshop going on there. I'm not too upset with them darkening the rest of the pipes there, honestly, or the hose, whatever this is, the cables, but that's just a little that it looks like a Roger Rabbit, if you will, for those of you who know Roger Rabbit. Now going to the accessories page, again, we've seen a lot of this, right? We got the Timberlands, we got the die-cast plates, we got the lightning effects, we got the mask, and then they're showing the overall design of the figure. And again, a really cool thing, you know, I have to give praise to Hot Toys. I have to, because I've been a little upset and deterred from them deviating away from giving us pairs of hands. But the last few releases, or the last few announcements, they've been giving us those pairs. So shout out to Hot Toys. I commend y'all for doing that. Now, one thing that I do want to point out though, and I know at this point this is standard for Hot Toys, but I wish that they would start changing that standard slightly. And I know that they can. It's easy to do, right? Let's take a moment and look at this drawing that I put together for you all. I'm not an artist, so don't rag on me in the comments. So here's a drawing of the base design mock-up that I wanted to show for you all. And I think it's important to hold the character theme for the No Way Home base plate, right? So we obviously have the No Way Home plate there. We have the metal plate with the No Way Home theme featuring the name of the character. And then with the little lightning effects, 3D elevated lightning effects would just bring this base to life versus just a flat base and that's it. Let me know what you all think down below. How would you do the base for this? I know the diorama bases can be a little bit more expensive, but back to the topic here. So for $285, is this worth it? That's a really good question. I think you would just have to really be a Spider-Man fan and a fan of the movie No Way Home and a fan of this character to pick this up. Me personally, I'm not picking it up. However, there's another thing that I want to point out. For those of you who would like to have kit bashed characters of Jamie Foxx's likeness, which I know there are a lot of people out there, right? But then you'd be buying this figure just for the portrait. And I'm pretty sure maybe you can part out the rest if you so choose, but people are gonna also look at this as a way to kit bash their favorite Jamie Foxx character. They're gonna try to figure that out. But looking at Electro without kit bashing for $285 and everything that's included, that's tough for me. I would have to be a Spider-Man fan, and I would have to have loved No Way Home. I would have to be picking up the other villains, Green Goblin and Doc Ock, to say that I could pick this up, unless because they are coming out with the other Spider-Man. I know you all saw that announcement. They're coming out with them. Unless I went ahead and pick up Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, then I would have to pick this up for sure. I know it's a different version, if you will, of Electro, but I will probably say that's the reason that I would pick it up. Me personally though, it's a great figure, $285. Me personally, I'm gonna say it's not worth it, unless, of course, you're picking up the Andrew Garfield figure and you love Electro and your collection is mainly Marvel or Spider-Man themed. If it is, then yes, it is definitely worth it. But this is looking like a 10 out of 10 figure out of the box. Let me know what you all think down below. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's content. Join us over on social media at Boston Collectors on Instagram, at MA Collectors on Twitter if you're interested, and we'll catch you all on the flippity flop.